What's up everybody, Chip here with Main Street Mower, and today I got a treat for you. Toro versus John Deere. Behind me, we have the Titan Z535M. This is the 54-inch Titan with the 26-horse Kohler, the deep deck, the big spindles, the big beefy wheels, all the nice bits, you know? We've talked a lot about them. We have a video right up here going all over all the features of this machine. We can go in great detail about how wonderful this machine is. And on my left is a John Deere. This is a John Deere Z535M, and it has a 25-horse engine on it. We haven't done any John Deere comparisons yet. We're about to do a bunch of them on our channel, so subscribe if you're interested in some John Deere Toro clashes. I got 900 series coming, I got a standard coming, and we have this homeowner mower here right now. We're gonna be comparing these two mowers in this beautiful lawn today. This is some thick, tall Bahia grass. It's 2 weeks overgrown in the summer. It's gonna really put these mowers to the test and see how they perform. Guys, this is not the latest model of the Z500 series. This is about 3 years ago. This model is out and they have updated it since. You're gonna see a yellow deck versus a green deck. On the new models, they have a roll bar, they have LED lights, they have an updated seat. But as far as the mechanics go of this machine, the deck, the transmissions, the fuel capacity, the tire sizes, the general functionality of this mower is the same as the current model. So I just want to say that as a disclaimer. You guys are gonna be saying, oh, you didn't compare the newest and greatest one. And it's true, it's hard for me to get my hands on all these mowers, but somebody traded this in. It only has 280 hours on it, so it's very, very low hours, very new. I sharpened the blades since then. The blades are sharp as razors right now. Back in 2020, you could buy this machine for around $4,500. This thing was a kind of a category killer. I want to hand it to John Deere. This is a great value proposition as a mower. But now you have the Titan, which comes in around $6,000. I think it's $58.99. And you're saying, well, that's not really apples to apples. Well, the new John Deere is closer to that $6,600 mark, depending on which model, deck, size, accessories you get. And so we're gonna see today, is that $2,000 difference between the old John Deere and the new John Deere worth it? If you're gonna spend that new John Deere money, would you be better off saving a little money and buying a TORO Titan? This house is around 1.5 acres, and we got a lot of mowing to do today. So we're gonna get a real good chance to test this thing out and see how it does, and just enjoy all the little features and the feels and the do's and the don'ts. This grass is about 11 inches tall. We're gonna be cutting it all the way down to 3.5 inches, which is pretty low to be doing on a normal cut. I wouldn't like to do that initially, but we only got this mower for a few hours and we're gonna get it done today. We're gonna chop this grass down, so we're gonna see how this 25 horsepower engine handles this 54-inch deck, and we're gonna see how this 26 horsepower engine handles this 54-inch deck. See how they feel, see how they handle thick grass, see how they disperse, see how the cut looks, how well the John Deere mows versus the Toro mows, how well does the axle deck cut compared to Toro's iron forged deck. We're gonna get some just cutting footage and let you guys be the judge on which one does better. Guys, stay tuned. Let's get to cutting. Let's quit talking, let's get to cutting, come on.
It sound right, boys.
Okay guys, so this side is the Toro side. I still got a little piece to finish up here. I just want you to see there's a lot of grass laying on top of this grass. Obviously, this is so tall that typically you should double cut this type of thing, but I wanted you to see initial results, initial pass. What does it look like? When you have this kind of grass, for it to get every single piece and to get it perfectly flat is really, really challenging. But Titan did a great job. I'm pretty impressed with how it did. I do want to double cut it just for my friend here because I don't want this to create a blanket and burn his grass beneath, because this grass is really ridiculously tall. We'll get some close-ups, some differentials here, but if you look at that grass to where we're cutting it, I mean, that is a solid 9 to 10 inches, probably 11 inches. That's a big blade of grass we're cutting and then having to process and eject. So these results are great considering that, but keep watching. We'll see how the John Deere does and go from there. Well guys, behind me, you can see the John Deere's cut. It actually did a great job. I'm really impressed. It did a good job of cutting those Bahia little, I don't know what you call them. People call them crow's feet, people call them two toes, I don't know. But it did a good job of cutting those. On the double up side, it wasn't quite as happy. I was having to kind of use less of the deck, but it still did a pretty darn good job. The one thing I would say as far as cut quality goes that it didn't do as good of a job as Toro was dispersion. If you look here, you can see the pile of grass on each side, rather than kind of an even blanket over the Toro side. You can actually be able to see from the wide angle, there's a big difference between how these things eject grass and how far the grass goes out. I did cut them the exact same way. Stripe down was a clean cut, and then I striped back, doubled it up, and then cut down, clean cut, doubled up. So seems like a very fair comparison to me. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I would say the John Deere cut really nice. I don't like how it threw it out. I would have to come back and mow all these piles, which I'm gonna do with the Toro anyway, so it's not gonna really save me any labor. But if I were to just cut it once, or say this grass wasn't ridiculously tall, I think the Toro probably would have done a better job of spreading it out without having to do a double cut. But because the grass is so tall, it's gonna require a double cut. We're gonna keep mowing the front yard, get some more feels or thoughts. The second half of this yard was a lot thinner than the first half. I think their irrigation might not hit this side of the yard as much. About here to the left was half as thick as it was on the rest of the lawn. And so I think it performed really good on that second half of the lawn. I was really impressed with that. I want to get it in some thicker stuff over here and see how it does on that. Let's try it. Yoo-hoo! Well, guys, I will say, this little Deere cuts great. The grass that goes over is cut. It does not kick it out very far, and it leaves a lot of big clumps. That's something you either have to rake up, or bag up, or double mow, and I don't know how well it would do. But look at this little blob right here. This was natural forming blob that came out of there. And compared to, if you can see over here, the Toro, yeah, it missed some stuff because this is all very evenly spread out, and it will just naturally fall down between the grass. On this side, it kind of is a better description of what it would look like on an average cut and versus having to bag up all this stuff. So put in the comments, which mower do you think won this competition? I think both performed really well. I was really impressed with the John Deere. The Toro machine dispersed the grass a little better, I believe. As far as features and things, they're pretty similar in some ways. I know that we have the newer Toro model, so I'm not trying to compare the features so much as actually the function. The steering on this felt really nice. The tires and everything felt good. I felt in control I think it cut good. I think if the grass wasn't so ridiculously tall, it would have cut really nice. Now, we always talking about use what's your best dealer in your town. Is there a really good Toro dealer? Is there a really good John Deere dealer? If there's a really good John Deere dealer in your town and there's not a good Toro dealer, this is not a bad product for you guys. If this is what you have now and you're wondering, you know, what should I do? It's a good product. You can cut grass like this property with this product and make money. But if you have a Toro dealer in your area and not double cutting is something you would like to do, I think the Toro won this competition. It did not cut. There was a certain weed that was growing in this yard that it did not cut as well as the John Deere did. There was some weed that had some long sticks on it that it did not like to cut. I don't know if that was because I have the factory edge on here versus these are sharpened. That was just something I noticed, that this did cut that particular weed a little better. There was only a couple patches of it. It's not like it spread throughout. But in general, the Toro did do a better job of dispersing the grass, and the finished product looks better. If you were to look out here now, you would see big rows of clumps. It does look like striping, kind of has this effect like a stripe, like, ooh man, it looks like it's left stripes. But really what you're gonna have is big blobs of grass, and those are gonna get hot and bake and burn up underneath that grass because it's gonna kind of mulch and trap that heat in. The other grass has been dispersed evenly. I believe it's gonna dry up and fall down. So guys, this is my friend's yard, and before I leave, I'm gonna double cut it all with the Toro because it's gonna do a better job spreading all these big piles out. So you can watch that too. You guys often ask, what does it look like with double cut? Well, here you go. Guys, we finished the yard. It looks beautiful. We totally transformed this thing. It was really, really overgrown. I mean, that was 12-inch grass. We took it down to 3.5. I will say at first, when I was cutting with the John Deere versus the Toro, I was a little concerned that the John Deere was doing an excellent job, and it was cutting really well. But its Achilles heel is its distribution and how it gets it out. And it was leaving large clumps and stripes. And at the end of the job, I realized that everything I cut with the Deere, I had to go back and double cut with the Toro. Even sometimes where the Deere was, I had to triple, quadruple, centuple cut it because it just was like so thick and clumpy. Everywhere I had the double cut with the Toro, it was a single double cut and it looked great. Everything's been minced, it looks nice, it fell through. The things that I missed the first round because how thick and heavy it was got cut. The yard looks really nice right now. Guys, I know obviously I have my opinion on how the mowers did. I would love to hear your comments. In your experience as a landscaper, is clumping a big deal? Is that something that's concerning? Do you think the John Deere did better than the Toro? Do you think Toro did better than the John Deere? Guys, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. We couldn't do this channel without you. We love you guys. Stay tuned for more content like this. Take it easy.